Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Friday, July 29th, 2022. People, let me start off with this because it's huge, and I'm not actually sure how much coverage this is going to get here. So we just found out, what do we know? I always like to say that. We already understand that the European Central Bank is now engaged in a full-on, unlimited bond buying program. The Federal Reserve is following suit. They're not telling you about it. You can see it with your own eyes by looking at the yield curve. You can go to the Federal Reserve's own website. I've been urging you to do that. The truth is always hidden in plain sight. Look at the time period between July 6th and today, and you will see that the Fed is buying $380 million of assets per day. You're not allowed to know that, but the big story right now, at least this morning, is the European Central Bank. And why this is important is because they said something here that you need to pay attention to, I need to pay attention to, because the Federal Reserve is going to do the same thing. So the European Central Bank is concerned that there's going to be panic in the debt market. You heard right. Panic in the debt market. And the European Central Bank is willing to, I don't know how they can do this, but step up their unlimited bond buying program. But by their own words, they will kill the panic. What they're explaining is what you already know, and I already know. The big deal here, the big elephant in the room, is a sell-off in the debt market in an uncontrolled fashion. We witnessed this recently with our own eyes. We saw it happen, you and I, the 10-year yield, bang, 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 bang. European Central Bank stepped in, Fed steps in, kind of, quells it. But here, the ECB is saying that they are concerned about a panic and they will kill it. So what they're saying here is, despite their unlimited bond buying program, they're willing to do more. I don't know how you can possibly do more than unlimited, but you see what they're doing. When you have a central bank saying something like this, they're sending a signal to the market. That's what it is. Don't worry about it. We got your back. Continue to buy. We found out yesterday that, here in the United States, nearly $300 billion is going to be, doled out here to stimulate, bail out, whatever word you want to use, the tech sector. And of course, since this passed the Senate, you've watched the tech sector go much higher here. I don't understand why people are not sincerely screaming from rooftops here, how they're allowing the government, to funnel tens of billions of dollars to corporations. Oh, but you have our President Biden sign, he's going to tax the rich. He's going to do that. The middle class is getting wiped out by this man and the whole entire freak show that we are in, people. And I've been explaining to you for about how many years now, just be ready. Be ready, because you're going to hear things and see things you're not going to believe. There's another multi-hundreds of billion-dollar plan here for climate change and energy. And all this is, honestly, it has nothing to do with what they're telling you. All it is a mechanism here to continue to borrow, to pull cash out of the future into the now. They sell it to you via some kind of tricky wording. They understand that it's going to hit certain people the way they want it to. And you got to back it up because it's a crisis. Remember, that's the mechanism. Crisis to crisis to crisis. I mean, look at the wording here with the ECB. Market panic, and they're willing to kill the panic. Talking about an implosion here in the debt market, which is going to come. People, how can I put this to you another way? I want you to be prepared for a full-on, absolute liquidity crisis, a locking up of the entire system. They're going to continue to pull cash out of the future. Hundreds of billions into trillions. Global debt is going to swell beyond anyone's wildest imaginations, and I mean that. And who's going to pay? Who's paying for it now? Well, everyone's paying for it, but who's really feeling the pinch? It's the middle class. The 1% and 2%ers, the really well off, the rich. Yeah, sure. The rising prices, it gets to you a little bit, but not to any serious degree. And you know what's really going on here. It's not only is it a control mechanism, it's a method or a means to literally kill an entire class of people, push them down to the lower rung, and I sincerely believe we haven't seen anything yet with regard to that. So with regard to economic news this morning, this is pretty interesting. Oh, let's just back up a moment. So Janet Yellen, you remember for the past few weeks she's been saying, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see a recession. Now we got 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. Okay, whatever. She still doesn't see a recession, but what happened, yesterday is they took this creature, this whatever it is, and they paraded her out on every single mainstream outlet, and she's pushing the narrative as hard as she can that the United States is not in recession. Look, that's what they do. They try to convince you that what is happening isn't real, and it's not going to stop by any means. Oh yeah, so big oil and big pharma, record profits. Oh, imagine my shock here. No, I don't think you're surprised. Again, and now with this multi-billion-dollar subsidy or bailout or stimulus package or whatever, however you want to look at it, for tech, well, you can expect tech to take off as well too, people. And inflation, let's talk about inflation. So the Federal Reserve has a favorite indicator. It's their core personal consumption expenditures. Say that 3 times fast. Well, their favorite indicator, this particular one is showing, and it was a big surprise to everyone. No one saw this coming, but this indicator said inflation is rising faster than anyone expected. Oh, not you and me. Absolutely. People, look, you know this. You probably hear this kind of stuff and you laugh because you knew ahead of time, way ahead of time, that things were going to get a lot worse here. There's just no doubt about it. Anyway, that's the situation. Let's go back to the market here. So stock futures are slightly in the green. Trading doesn't start for about 25 minutes. So looks like a higher open, at least right now. 10-year yield, 2.70, going much lower. Again, panic in the debt market here. The ECB is going to buy more, even though they're buying unlimited, and the Fed will follow suit. They're going to make sure that rates and yields stay suppressed, creating this environment of risk or fostering it. Cash moves into the stock market. What a move we saw yesterday in physical silver and gold. Unbelievable. 7% with regard to physical, the derivative, which does affect the physical asset. It's amazing. If anyone understood how it works, just imagine for a moment here. I'm laughing because it's the truth. An environment where something that doesn't even exist, it's not on the elemental chart, is where the price is derived for the real thing. Well, it's upside down for a reason, so banks like JP Morgan can continue to rig it. And they're going to. So just be used to it. But anyway, we got gold and silver this morning higher. Cryptocurrencies under a little pressure. Bitcoin over 24,000 yesterday at one point. Little pullback, whatever. Looking very good to me. I went over this weeks ago, where I said cryptos are looking strong. They look very strong to me. I will get back into this space here. And as you all know, I am fully back in this market. I took a step back from this market, as most of you know. Several weeks ago, I just felt like I lost my mojo. And I said, the only way, and don't, look, any trader every trader that I've ever known in my life, and I know a lot. I know people in here that are trading for 35, 40 years. Once in a while, you got to take a step back. And that step back from this market, I just dumped it all, was the best thing I could have done because I got myself sitting pretty right now. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is it's going to happen to you too at one point. Just be ready for it. Sometimes all of this will just get to you. It'll play on your brain and you'll start to, maybe make bad decisions. And if that happens, you got to think about capital preservation. You understand? Sometimes, a lot of people write to me. Let me just cover something real quick. Hey, Greg, I've been doing this, I'm doing that, and I just can't seem to get it right. This happens in this business of trading and investing. Okay, it happens from time to time. If that happens to you, and like I said, a lot of people write to me and say this is happening to them, just take a step back. Just get out of the market. The market's always going to be there. You can always get back into it. There's no rule that says you can't get out. Regroup and then jump back in here with a better perspective. And that's exactly what I did. And let me tell you, it really got me back on track, and I got my mojo back in a big way. All right, so anyway, people, look, that's the story this morning here. And I want to hear from you. What do you think about this issue with the European Central Bank? I mean, they're already buying it all, along with the Fed. But now they're saying they're willing to do more. If they see market panic, they will kill the panic. Let me ask you, does that sound like a free market to you, or does that sound like a managed market? Understand, the debt market is the biggest rigged aspect of the markets by far. Secondary to that would be the precious metals market. So it's kind of interesting to hear this, and to me, it's a clear signal from central banks saying, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to still continue to rig the debt market. We're going to buy it all. We have unlimited firepower, and we don't care how badly this affects inflation or an entire class of people. I'm referring to the middle class. You don't matter. Understand. The people at the lower rung, they literally don't matter. You never hear about them. It's the middle class. And the middle class, this whole three-tier society, this is a new creation here. People used to live under the rulership of a king or queen, and they were serfs. They were servants to the land, and they're overlords here. A group of very smart men decided to, try to do something about that. They created a nation. All right, and then it got perverted into some other twisted thing, and it's always the same thing. The fall of every empire always ends the same way. Greed and corruption, and we could not possibly have more of that now. But you can expect it to even get worse, let me tell you. All right, with that said, people, look, I think this has been an important video. If you agree, please thumbs up, share the video, and I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Is this surprising to you, or is it just more of the same crap? All right, love you a lot. See you later.